Final Fantasy XVI is a game that has people divided. On one side, some people complain that writing is bad, the fights are too easy, side quests are boring, Clive is too weird. I mean, can you blame them?
The heavens must have a plan for us.
But on the other side, people say that the fights are epic, the art direction is great, and they just love the characters. So that begs the question, who's right? Well, I don't know, but I can tell you one thing, that despite the different opinions of those two groups, they do agree on one thing and one thing only. The music is fucking insane. Nah, for real, like the village themes, the ambience of the forest, but most importantly, the boss battles. It's pretty clear that this game has some technical limitations, like for example frame rate is pretty bad in certain locations, but actually I think that's because they must have spent like 90% of their budget just for the composer, Masayoshi Soken. I don't know, he cooked! Speaking of composers, I am one, kinda. I'm a hobbyist composer.
What that mean?
It means that I don't do this for a living, but whenever I'm playing a game and I hear a banger, I stop everything, go on YouTube Music, find a track, listen to it, stank face, listen to it again, stank face, listen to it again and again. But then I try to analyze its structure and orchestration and realize that
wait, I can actually do that.
So I plug in my MIDI keyboard, hop on Cubase and try to recreate the whole track by ear. And that's what we're gonna do today. Or rather, what I have been doing for the past few weeks. So I took one of my favorite tracks from the game, On the Shoulders of the Giants, and I recreated it with the goal of understanding the ideas behind Masayoshi's brain and maybe to steal something for my own future compositions, but shh, don't tell anyone. As you will see, I'm not really a technical person, so when I say that I'm gonna break down a track, I'm not gonna do so in like a boring, complicated music theory way. It's gonna be more of a general overview, because one, I don't really know music theory, and two, because I want this video to be aimed both at casual people who don't know a thing about the process of composing music, and also of course to other composers who already know which libraries I use just by looking at the tracks' names. Okay, so here we are. I will let you listen to the whole thing first, and then we're gonna analyze some quick little things that are super interesting, but let's hear the whole thing first. Okay, it's time to get nerdy. So I will start from the beginning being this. Let's start with the percussions. So I have some big percussions here, taikos, then giant drums, then some other taikos from Damage 2. Then we have a
mega low taiko,
and then another Damage 2 thing, which is some toms. Disgusting. And these are the percussions. Now let's see the strings. String ensemble, it's easy. It's just G and F. And I want to emphasize how, look at this. If you notice, it has a forward momentum. Bum, 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 bum. And that's because the velocity is alternated. So where you see red here, the note is hitting really hard, and where it's purple, it's not hitting as hard. So this alternating gives this flowy forward motion. Because if we, for example, put everything at max velocity here, it loses that motion. Let's hear examples. Here with the motion, here without motion. Motion. And now? It's too robotic, you know? So this is important, the motion. We have a cello to have that bite. Can you hear the bite? That and that is very important because without it, it's like this. That's at it. So yeah, this is the string section. It's for the nerds, I used Arc 1, Tokyo scoring strings, Stradivari cello, an ensemble pizzicato from Cinematic Studio Strings, and very important, Jaeger as an ensemble. So I layered so many libraries. Okay, so this was the first part, and I would like to pass now to a detail, and it's the brass effects. This is an effect, it's a rip. And here, it's very important. It's so cool! And another brass effect, for example, is a trill. Like this or like this. This is a trill. And if we use it on a brass ensemble, we get this effect right here with an automation that increases the intensity of the sound. And so we have a great transition. Pay attention. And it's a great way to make hard-hitting transitions. And last detail, last effect here is a woodwind rip. So cool, man. And those are the effects. I would say we can skip this part, which is pretty simple. It's a melody that repeats. With a bass line that goes down. And it's the same melody, it's just the bass line goes down. Pretty simple and nice. But let's get into the juicy part, the main melody that hits super hard. Okay. So now let's start with the melody first. I layered so many libraries to achieve this big sound. It's insane. It's not even funny. And so normally if you want to achieve a big sound, you layer patches that have lots of horns in one. So here, for example, you have 9 horns in one. Cinematic Studio Brass. Orb horns. And a solo horn as well. Has more of a studio tight sound. I also layered a trumpet here. That gives more details to the horns. So let's hear everything. But this is just the leader, the most epic part of this section. But you need to add things in order to make the horn stand out. And in this case, we have some huge low brass sounds. For the nerds, Arc 1, I have a low brass patch from Jaeger. Really cool. So like you need to be supporting your main melody with some thick, huge, low brass section. But that's not finished, because to give motion a little bit to everything, we are using strings and brass staccato. So like that, and the brass as well. And the percussions support everything. For example, the snares. Snares are super important. They're doing the same pattern as the strings. The whole other percussions that we saw earlier to give that low end. And all of that gives you, plus some extra things that like a low bass here, some sub, give you this beautiful, big, epic sound. Now notice how we enter in the second part here. We are adding the strings on top. So essentially you can just repeat something, add strings on top, doing another layer, and you're done. And it's cool. And you can recycle the same melody. And it's gonna hit harder because you now have the strings. In this case, we have Tokyo scoring strings because it's a bit harsher. I like it. On top of the horn. So like it's everything at once. And it works here because the strings are really high in register, and so they occupy higher frequencies, whereas the brass section, the horns and the trombones, occupy the mid to low. So it makes a big ensemble that is pleasurable to the ear. And now I'm gonna tell you something that really blew my mind. It's such a detail but makes so much difference. Listen to these strings. It's so good. So basically it starts that you can barely hear it here because it's behind all the other instruments, but slowly you start hearing it more and more, and then you have this beautiful, beautiful bridge. Barely hear it. Beautiful. And then we start again, essentially. It's similar to the beginning. And then we have like a chill part with lush strings and some low percussions. And notice here something. Can you hear these trumpets here? Those do a lot more than you think as a transition. It's details, man. It's all about the details. But now we have the super crazy choir part. If we listen to the choir, for the nerds, we're talking about chorus layered with Arc 1, layered with Epic Choir originals. But again, let's look at also the things that support the protagonist. Because like guys, I want you to listen to these beautiful chords. This is insane. Just this part here, I love it so much. Crazy. So it's G minor, G major, and then C minor. Yep. And the bass line here is crazy because you have the root. And normally when you go to G major, you should still use the root. But instead, you go with the third. So it has this progressive motion. So and then root again. I don't know. This is an orgasmic chord progression to me. So good. Again, I don't know. I cannot analyze everything because I don't really know music theory. I just know chord names. And here we have again the trumpets transitioning towards the end. Normally it would sound better if I had like 10 years more of experience, but you know, I'm pretty happy with the result, honestly. I'm kind of surprised that I was able to make this. It's great. It was really fun. It was really fun and I learned a bit of things. Let me know if you like this type of video in which I break down things after I do them, so you don't really stay and have to watch all the process, the boring process of composing, because I have many other ideas. There is Pokemon music, Yu-Gi-Oh music, Inazuma 11 music. There is so many things that I listen to that are so good and I think I can replicate them somehow. Like kinda. This is not gonna be the same quality as the live original recording, of course. I'm probably gonna do more of those. So if you don't wanna miss them, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.